Guys, I'm Joe Kurtenbach with Guns and Ammo, and I am joined by Tim Larkin of G-Sight. And today, Tim, we're talking laser training. So,
yes, we
Tim,
are.
the first thing I wanted to mention is, I actually have quite a bit of experience with laser training. When I was in the military, we had certain systems there to replicate both the recoil of the firearms, as well as get a little bit more rounds on target, if you will, without actually having to send lead down range. And then coming into the outdoor industry, there were some companies that were offering some laser training, whether it was a laser that kind of snugged into the muzzle of the firearm or into the barrel, or there were other companies using kind of a cartridge style laser. But I can tell that the ELMS system, the laser system that G-Sight is manufacturing and putting out there, it's definitely a different caliber than those systems I'm used to.
Yeah, and that really goes to the design. Our engineers have been really looking at this, and what's really nice about it is our engineers, they're based in California. They're big firearms people, which is funny for California, but they are. And it's funny for San Francisco when you think about it, but they're awesome, and they really put a lot of thought into that, because the idea is, it's a laser system. It is a cartridge-based laser system, so it means you can use it with your firearm, in the calibers that you have, which is huge. Being able to use your personal firearm to do your laser training is really a nice step up. Now, that's been out there. There are other groups that have done cartridges. The difference with this is really the engineering that goes into it, the thought process, and the accuracy, that we've been able to achieve with this. So the idea is, the old days of dry firing, we do things. I know in the military, we would dry fire for hours. When I was in there, we'd do things like put, pencils in our, in there, go up against the wall to see.
Yeah, or the penny on the barrel there.
Penny on the barrel. And listen, all that stuff's solid. What's nice about this is we've been able to mold technology into the laser training now, that we not only can get all the benefits of dry fire, but our feedback loop is much better. We have a full app that takes people through a variety of different, gamification type, dry fire experiences, which is great. That's only going to get expanded. So it's a system that I have tested with brand new people, and all the way up to tier 1, level operators. And all levels have been blown away by it. They've just really they see the value of it right away. And we're really excited, because this is it's a nice upgrade what we have right now, but what we're going to be doing with the company and where we want to go with this is we really want to change the way people dry fire and, using lasers. And that's really, G-Sight's thing. ELMS is really our flagship to start everything off,
And so, speaking of ELMS, that stands for Expert Laser Marksmanship System, correct?
Yes, that is correct. It was so interesting. I did an interview last week with one of our clients, and high-end spec ops guy, and he was saying how much he's been able to use with his team, the ELMS, to really maximize their live fire time, meaning they really don't want to waste any ammo right now that they can because of the cost. And they're able to do thousands of laser rounds and really get a lot of the kinks worked out, so that when they hit the range and they go live fire, they're getting the maximum out of that live fire training. What's been really surprising, Joe, is all the new gun owners that we have this year.
Yeah.
A lot of them are they're intimidated. They're intimidated to go to the range and actually shoot. And what's funny is we took a bunch of women who, first-time gun owners, just came in. They were going to go for the CCW, and we started training them on the laser dry fire. And it took away all the initial fear. They got really comfortable with their weapon. And then when we switched them to a live fire, there were no issues. They were ready for it. The recoil management came right away. They understood that. Why? Because they'd been able to put all those laser rounds down, really work their trigger press, and just get everything perfect. And that's been really invaluable.
Yeah, I think this is a great time to kind of talk about what the kit actually is, what the ELMS system actually is. And I can relate my experience, because I just received the other day a pro pack in preparation for this call. And what that included was, for one, the actual ELMS system. I had a cartridge laser, 9mm. It included extra O-rings, which, when you talked about that snug fit in the chamber, that's facilitated by having those O-rings in there, so that the minor chamber variances between different brands or different firearms, those O-rings help compensate for that and make sure that laser is nice and centered. Also included extra O-rings, extra batteries, and then of course you have this tripod and a iPhone mount, or a smartphone mount, and that talks about the app. So I pasted a couple targets up on the wall. It's very easy to set up. It took no time at all. You basically follow through the app and get those targets centered up. And then when you actually start training, that phone is recording those shots so that you can review how you did, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the nice part about it. We make it really simple for you. And incorporating tools that we all have. Most of us already have smartphones. We already have these things. You can make your own target. You can use any target that you want. And what's great is you get that feedback. It lets you know right away if there's a problem. If you're off on something, if you're jerking, if you're doing anything, it shows you right away what's going on, and you can correct, which is really nice. And the other thing is the flexibility of it. You can literally do it anywhere. You can do it in your house. I have it set up in my home office, and if I want to take a break, I take 10, 15 minutes and I'll just dry fire. But like you said, the ease of setup is so great. You literally just turn the app on, pace it towards the target, hit it, start, and you're off.
I'm curious about how accurate this system is when you've got it all set up, and how did GSight achieve that level of performance?
It's because of the engineering. We've had upgraders not only in the laser components, but also in the protective. The durability of this cartridge round is great. We've made it so that we have an indentation of extra metal that comes out, protects the actual laser itself, so there's no way you can hurt it. The rubber backing that we have to protect the firing pin and everything, it's really upgraded and great. So, I mean, there's no damage to your weapon, and the accuracy that you get out of this is really, literally exactly what you'd get out of a live fire shot. The company is very serious about providing as realistic an experience as possible. And the idea is we always want you to be able to train wherever you're at. That's really it right now, especially with the ammo shortages that we have right now and stuff. Everybody I know that has had this has said the same thing. You've made it easy for me to continually practice. There's no excuse for me not to do it. I actually guilt myself if I don't do it because you made it so easy. And that's what we'd like to hear.
Yeah. So another aspect that our viewers and the readers of Guns and Ammo are going to be curious about is what kind of how to get the system, but then also what kind of support is there coming from GSight for people who do adopt this system and start dry firing.
So that's really the other part of the company that is huge. The customer service we've really invested in. We've got top-notch people. They are empowered to take care of any problem. Luckily, we have very few issues, but my customer service team is just outstanding. The one thing we want people to know is that if you deal with GSight, if there's any issues, we take care of you. There's been no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's a great lead into my next question too, because I have a 9mm. We talked about 9mm. Can you briefly describe, what calibers are currently available, and then maybe what's next for the company? Which direction is GSight going?
Currently, we have the 45. We have the 9mm, obviously, which is highly popular. We've got the 380, and we have the 40 that's coming out right now. We are planning to come out with the 223 is the one everybody wants, and our people won't put it out until it's perfect.
Right.
And so the idea is there's so many different platforms that you have to deal with. That we want to make sure that we have a powerful enough laser to get what you need, and just figuring out the best way to be able to provide, if you're going to put in your AR or something, you want to make sure that you get the same benefit of putting it into your pistol. And that's what the engineers, until they're happy with that, they're not going to put that out. But we are very close.
Very cool. Well, this has all been, great, especially in this time. I have to repeat that again. When it's hard to find ammo, or when you do find it, it is expensive. If you're looking for a safe option, that you can increase your training, get rounds downrange, so to speak, but in a safe manner and anywhere, you definitely have to check out the ELMS system from GSight.
Hey, thanks so much, Joe. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks very much, Tim.